Friendly confines indeed. Ohio State comes into Wrigley Field. They win 31-7. Welcome to the Notebook. It is Notebook number 10 as Ohio State moves to 9-1, heading up here out of the first base dugout. Pretty interesting post-game scene down there, but kudos to Northwestern. They pulled it off. It was interesting setup. Jack Sawyer out here talking along the line. We'll get into that. Maybe we players that are available we can talk to. We'll do that with Jack Sawyer in a little bit. Carnell Tate, I think, is going to be out. Will Howard, Jordan Hancock. We'll get Jordan right here. Jordan, Jerry said you were available, right?
Yeah.
That performance today. What did you think about this venue?
The venue's awesome. When we landed in Chicago, I was like, "Damn, this is a cool city." Then we came here and we was imagining making plays here, and that's what we did for real. So.
You imagine making plays in Chicago, or you imagine them in Wrigley Field?
Oh, Wrigley Field,
okay.
For sure. Wrigley Field. I'm a huge baseball fan, so it was cool being here for sure.
It seemed like there was a lot of energy as well from the Ohio State fans that showed up.
Oh, yeah, we knew Buckeye fans, best fans in the land. We knew they was going to come out here, support us. So, yeah, that's kind of what we expected.
All right. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. So, one down there. Jordan Hancock just all over the field, making plays. Jack Sawyer right in there. One of the more energetic performances, probably the most energetic performance of the season. What's that, Berm? Okay, you can take a look at that. Follow him out there in a little bit, Berm. I'll stay connected on this microphone. That was a ugly play. Had nothing to do with the field. That was the 76-yard catch and run for Jeremiah Smith. He's a lot more interesting than I am here, but you got to keep an eye on that because the stretch coming up here, no joke. Top 5 matchup with Indiana, and then the game after that. So I think he finished with 4 catches for 100 yards. He went back in there, maybe had the end around after the ankle injury, but he did not look like himself. So certainly we're going to have a lot of conversation about that. G. Scott took a knock as well. Get him, Berm, see if as he's heading out of here. Again, so both of those things, G. Scott, Jeremiah Smith's thing, had nothing to do with the field. And you can look at this over here. Some of the worst case fears, obviously, they did not come through. I was saying that coming out of the dugout. Kudos to everybody involved at Wrigley Field. Kudos to Northwestern. When Ohio State came in, they did still have some concerns about the wall over there. Maybe we'll take a little tour over that so you can look at it as well, but it didn't wind up impacting the game at all. So great job. I said I would give credit where credit is due. If I was wrong, then I was wrong. They got through it perfectly, and I think you look around in here, I mean, this was completely covered all the way around in scarlet and gray. You had the OHIO chant going on already in the third quarter before Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and you can't deny that was a really cool setting for Ohio State to come play. They did not play their most perfect game of the season. I don't think we would ever make that claim when it's scoreless going into the second quarter. In that first quarter, you had Jack Sawyer, as I mentioned, flying around. He creates some pressure a couple times now. Northwestern was able to avoid some of that. Sonny Styles had his first sack there in the first quarter, but the forced fumble from Jack Sawyer on that drive really turns a sketchier situation for the Ohio State defense into that drive. Quinshon Judkins sparked that first drive for Ohio State offensively with this ridiculously tough run. He is playing at a pretty high level, and Ohio State fed him in this game. But the Buckeyes are trailing 7-0 in Wrigley, and you just feel a little bit of juice come out a little bit of this stadium. Ryan Day talked about, afterwards the vibe of coming into the buses are coming around the corner, and all the Ohio State fans that were down in Wrigleyville, as soon as the bars were opening, he's like, we want to give some of that juice back to the Ohio State fans who really had it for this being in this setting for the first time. And it took them a while to do, but then Quinshon Judkins gets the touchdown out of the T formation down the goal line. Northwestern botches a snap, third down snap, little butt snap, and then the special teams long snapper shoots one over the head. Caden Curry shoots in there. He thinks that they're getting a safety, but it goes out at the 1, and Ohio State punches that in for a touchdown. Jack, can I walk with you here?
Sure.
That felt like, to me, you tell me if I'm wrong, the most energy you've played with all year.
I just think that, the rocks fell my way a lot today, and I was, just thank God for being in the position I was in today and being able to make plays.
What did you think about playing in this setting? I know the guys probably asked you about that in there, but it did wind up being pretty cool, and everybody got out in one piece.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We thank God for coming out healthy and with the win. So, the stadium's awesome. You know, I'm a big baseball fan. My grandpa's texting me all week. He played pro ball for the Pirates, so it was a cool experience playing at Wrigley Field.
Is it weird that we say now, how quickly does your attention go to Indiana? That's a new thing.
Right now.
Right now?
Yep.
All right, enjoy the trip back. Congrats.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Quickly turn the attention there. Take a few days for me to maybe wrap that around my mind. This is one of the biggest games of the year against the Indiana Hoosiers, but a credit to them. We'll get to that. We're going to talk more about Northwestern. See, this is the stuff right here. Like, it could have been much worse. Like, this is where all the divots were coming up in the game against Iowa last year. Again, you take your hat off. Wrigley Field made some adjustments. Northwestern got through it. Quinchon there leaving with some ice on his wrist. It's November. I don't think it should come as a major surprise that everybody is, bandaged up and iced up. This is a grind of a season. Now you play 6 straight times in the second half. You have physical games against teams like, Penn State mixed in there. You're going to get banged up at times. Ohio State, again, knock on wood, they got out of this about as well as they possibly could. All eyes are going to be on Jeremiah Smith, of course. We'll get to that. But Quinchon there punches in that second touchdown, makes it 14-0. Then Will Howard, all this conversation, footwork, deep ball, can Ohio State stretch the field? They get into a situation late in the second half. What an absolute seed to G. Scott down the seam. Like, Will Howard can do it. I think nitpicking some of the 2 or 3 or 4 plays over the course of the year they didn't make, that's not how I'm going to evaluate a quarterback. I think he is playing at a high level. Was this his best game of the season? I would say no, but he did, what he needed to do. Carnell Tate was on the other end of that drive after the G. Scott throw. Was down in this end zone where you see the families, congregating now as Ohio State had really everybody taking over this building, including all the parents and fans, and making the most out of this setting. But Carnell Tate especially, he had, I was told, 27 friends, family members that he was able to get tickets for this game, and everyone knows about the family history and what happened there. And I asked Ryan Day about that, and it was like, Carnell doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't show it a lot, but everyone at Ohio State cares about him a lot, and they want to give him some of that energy and love back. Once they step across this line here, they said, and you can see, you step onto this turf, Ryan Day says the game doesn't care, but Ohio State does, and Carnell makes a sensational touchdown catch to cap that second quarter, makes it 21-7, comes back, he gets one down going into this in the third quarter to get things rolling. After that, Jeremiah Smith, third down, 68-yarder. That's what it was, 68, yeah. Carnell punches it in, RPO throw, a little slant there. Will Howard was getting hits, 28-7. Ohio State's really putting it away at that point. And I don't know if they took the foot off the gas pedal. They were still trying to make some throws in the second half, but they were running the ball pretty efficiently. They just could not capitalize on those drives. Jaden Fielding, after Quinchon and Travion, really were 1-2 punch to get things moving. Kick a field goal to make it 31-7. There's the man of the hour right there. He's going to see his family, but we'll let him definitely do that. Special moment. Hey, Sonny, can we walk with you? 2 sacks, 2 passes broken up. Where does this one, I feel like we ask you this a lot, but it's like, are you coming into your own at linebacker? Did today feel like another step in that development, or is that storyline done?
I think I made some good plays today, the plays I was supposed to make. I'm more focused on the stuff I didn't make, though. Like, some plays I felt I left out there. And Coach Davis always talks about the issues are always there each week, so I'm more focused on the issues, not like I'm not going to sit there and hype myself about a play I should have made, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So I'm more focused on the issues that are there. But, yeah, I feel like I am getting more confident and things like that. And it's definitely good to have big plays in games. It breeds confidence, so helps you build throughout the year.
I asked you about that on Wednesday. It was like you and Cody wanted to go right back out and get some tackling drills. Like, is that just the professional mentality that you have? You can't focus on the positives as much. You are constantly looking for, I don't want to say nitpicking or focusing on the negatives, but if you're trying to become something great, then you can't just focus on what you've already accomplished.
I think you have to be able to accept like your positive moments, because I think that gives you confidence. It's good to have confidence. Confidence to kind of get you rolling, things like that. But if you get too hyped up on the good plays, you're not focused on the bad plays. And that's what you need to focus on each week. And I think that's how that's why we're able to move on each week. You know, have a big game against Penn State, able to move on the next week and keep it rolling. Because we're not focused on like all the great plays that we made. We're focused on the bad plays, focused on the issues, and trying to get better each week.
What did you think of all this?
It was sweet. There was a lot of Buckeyes in the stands, so that was pretty sweet. It was a good experience. I've never been in a Major League Baseball stadium before, so it's my first time. Yeah, their locker room's really nice though too.
So not a big baseball fan, huh?
No, I didn't really watch much baseball growing up. I used to play though.
Okay. Berm wants.
Why did you cut your hair?
Oh no, I was just tired of it. It was good.
I just thought that the fro look was like you look like a psychopath, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was just getting annoying in my hair.
A nice kid again.
And then sometimes my hair was like covering my ears, so it's like muffling the call when I'm coming in my ears. So it was weird.
All right, that's the stuff that the Notebook's all about. Got to figure out what's going on with Sonny Styles. Congrats on the win, so yeah, enjoy it. Get back to the grind. Him on. Notice, when did you cut your hair? He said last Friday. Oof, there's Maddie. Before the Purdue game. I said, oh well. I mean, no, we'll leave Carnell to it. I think that's a special moment for the family. He's done a ton of interviews. Would be cool, but I'm gonna make that call to let him go about his. So you get through into the fourth quarter. Not a lot down there. Sonny Styles effectively removed the rest of the drama with a sack. So again, 2 sacks, 2 passes broken up. Ohio State coach Ryan Day called this a business-like win, and Sonny Styles, I think, is pretty. He embodies that. We will ask Nina. So let's see. Mrs. Day, may I ask you a question, please? Did your son put down all the ivy, the grass? He seemed to want to take a lot of souvenirs.
No, I actually have.
There it is.
And my hot chocolate cups on the turf.
Did you guys enjoy this? It was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Congrats on the win. Travel safe home.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a lot of people, again, maybe I made too big a deal out of it throughout the week. If I did, so be it. I did think that there was a risk of injury. We'll go over here and show you what I mean. Berm, this is some cool stuff over there. Don't have these people look at me. Look at all the fans and family celebrating here together. Like, pretty cool stuff, including some folks who want some ivy over here. They're all trying to grab it. I think, is that Will Howard over there hanging out against the wall? I think so. So this is what I mean. I was kind of worried about those corners jutting out over here. And again, the game's over. They got through it. No problem. Don't worry about it. I think the more that you played games here, the more potential risk you would have of something bad happening. Here's the inline. So you'd say, well, you have 4 yards. That's maybe at Nebraska you have less, but
this is actually not against the brick. So there is a.
Oh, so it's a little like the tires at a F1 track to absorb it a little bit. Let's see this cool photo op over here. Let's see what Will has to say. No, we won't bother him. He's with the family too. We've got a number of interviews done, and we've talked about a 31-7 cruise to the finish line for Ohio State, about as much as I think we might need to. We're going to have a lot more to talk about. Huge week upcoming for Ohio State, getting ready for Indiana, top 5 matchup in the Horseshoe. It is a big noon game, you might have heard. Navigate through the fans here. Berm wants to go to the bullpen, and I'm going to let him. We're going to call in the reliever, the closer, and get ready for some snap judgments and put a bow on Ohio State winning 31-7. Everybody enjoying it in here. Their work is not done for the Buckeyes as they get ready to go back home. 2-game homestand. They've got Indiana, and they have the game at the end of the month. This has been The Notebook. We appreciate everybody who stopped by for a couple questions. I appreciate Berm for the camera work. I'm Austin Ward, and Ohio State is 9-1. This has been The Notebook. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. We'll see you for next week, the next Notebook, after Ohio State, Indiana. See you there.